Yes, party people in the place to be. It's your boy DJ Shortee Blitz representing the UK. And I'm totally honored to be part of the Sugarhill podcast. Salute.
What's up, world? This is the Master G, and this is the Sugarhillgang podcast. And thank you so much for coming on. And I'm joined by my boys and my brothers and my co-host and the cats that I couldn't do this world without. Talking about my man, Hen Diggity. What's up, Hen? Hey, what's up?
What's up, baby?
Yep,
Black History Month. You know what time it is.
Yeah, I got my Black History shirt on today too.
No
and of
doubt.
Course, you know,
yeah,
we can't do it without the man, Pots and Pans, T Dynasty. What up, T Dynasty? Say what's up.
I'm wearing a black T-shirt.
That's good.
That's good enough.
Yeah,
close enough.
That's good enough. That's good enough. Okay. So now that I got the intro out the way, I got to get this one real. I got to do this right, y'all. This brother right here, this is the guy, man, that we had a very exciting experience in the UK. He's one of the hottest DJs out there. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the man, the Mr. the Blitz, the man himself. Shortee Blitz. What's up, Shortee Blitz?
Good afternoon.
Shortee.
How you doing, man?
What's up, baby?
How you, brother?
And I'm good, man. And by the way, I only wear black.
Right on. So there you go.
That's right.
No doubt.
So Shortee. So because for the benefit of our of our lovely family, our fans, the Sugar Hill people, man. We're gonna give them like the long and the short of it is with us is in 2019 while we were on tour in London, you are on a show, and the name of that show, tell us the name of the show.
The name of the show was called Don't Hate the Playaz.
Don't Hate the Playaz, that's right. And you guys were gracious enough to allow myself, my dude Hen Diggity, Diamond was there in spirit, my other brother Melly, and Scorp. We were actually invited to come on this show, and the way I try to describe you guys is like you got that show. Don't Hate the Playaz like the UK version, or it's like Wildin' Out is to America. Don't Hate the Player is to the UK. Would that be safely the way to do it? The way to say it?
Yeah, that'd be kind of close. To be fair, it's definitely a hip hop game show.
Right.
Fun, laughter as well, like Wildin' Out. But there's a lot of contests as well. So
Right, but there's different elements, but it's that kind of hotness. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
yes, big.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. So just tell us your experience about how you even developed that. A little background. Let the world know, man. I know not that the world doesn't know, but give us a little bit more.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. If you missed it, I'm just saying that the basic, it's not my show. I'm just a part of the show. I didn't write it. Shout out to Monkey Kingdom. Shout out to Julian and the crew as well. They're the guys who came to me with the idea, and they wanted me to be the DJ, like the musical supervisor, and I control the music throughout there. So if there's any contest going on, I'm running the music. If I'm counting the people in, if they're gonna freestyle and stuff like that, I'm being the DJ. I'm being, what I'm envisioning was I was being like Kid Capri on Def Comedy Jam, because that's what I came up on. I love the way that he did that. Like he was on point with the music whenever it was needed. So, that's the kind of job that I would kind of try to fulfill, as well as helping co-host as well with the other guys. So the show is, again, like I said, it's a game show, and all different parts of the culture. So there'll be art in there. There'll be B-boys, B-girls. There'll be other DJs. There'll be MCs, and it's centered around a lot of the MC stuff, and obviously culture, pop culture, which is hip hop culture now. Like it's so embedded in what's going on right now, and I think for me to be a part of that is it seeing the humble beginnings from when you guys kicked the door open for everybody else to see around the world. It's
Say it again.
It helps, what I mean? Like, don't get it twisted. These guys on a commercial level, they there's people that had tapes sent over from New York and stuff like that, and videos and VHS and all that. Remember that VHS?
Yes, of course. Wow.
But on a commercial level, the Sugarhill Gang, they kicked the doors open and made the world fall in love to this thing called hip hop. And I just wanted to acknowledge that before I go any further. You know what I mean?
Man, it's truly,
He gets a
you
shake.
know. Yeah, man. You know, the crazy thing is that the more we get into this and the deeper it goes, you know, we're on our fourth decade. You know, it just totally, you know, it's like nowhere that I go, nothing that I do, you know, and people, it's like people are constantly, you know, finding out about me. You know, it's like I thought that in my later life that it would be people would forget about me, and it seems like as I go further into life, more and more walks of life are finding out about me, which is crazy. The real spooky thing about doing your show is that in 1979, when I first came to London, you know, the hot show in London at that time was a show called Top of the Pops.
Salute to that show. Yeah.
Yes. And everybody who is anybody has been on Top of the Pops. You know, that was your sort of like Soul. Like, here we go again with the comparison. Like Soul Train was to us at that time, an American Bandstand was to us at that time. Top of the Pops was that in the UK. So here I am now, and I tell a story about being in this wave pool and all this other kind of thing, which was totally mind-boggling to me at the time because I'd only seen waves in the water. I'd never seen waves in a pool, you know, which was a whole nother thing. But moving forward, here we are, 2019, and now I'm once again on another hot TV show in London. So, you know, the world becomes a very interesting situation when I've been able to experience this, man. Talk to me about your experience with hip hop. What was your first? Oh, wait a minute. Before I even get to that, I'm a little ahead of myself. Tell me your Rapper's Delight story. Tell me your first time. Wow. Yeah, tell me your Rapper's Delight story.
It was like I was in. I don't know how old. Yeah, I was in single digits when I first heard Rapper's Delight in 1979. I was born a few years earlier. But so when at the weekends I used to stay at my grandma's because my mom's a single mother, and I think she needed me away for the weekend just so she could just decompress and then go again because she worked
shout out to single mothers.
College as well.
Shout out to single mothers.
Shout out to mom. You know what I mean?
Shout out to single mothers.
No doubt, absolutely,
without a doubt.
So she shipped me off to my grandparents for the weekend. So, and that's where my uncles all lived. They're like my older brothers, but because she had me so young, we kind of all grew up together. So
same thing. Next
door neighbor had this record and he kept playing it through the window. So I'd go over there to go pick up something from my grandma, from Mrs. Brown, rest in peace. And David, the eldest son, would always be playing this song, and it just sounded different to everything that was out at the time, as far as I can remember at that young age. But boy, did I remember it. Do you know what I mean? And I think you guys caught like lightning in a bottle, if that's the correct saying, because
yeah, that's it.
Because as soon as somebody heard that, they'd never forget it. You know what I mean? Obviously, you knew Good Times by Chic, very big record, but these guys are talking on this record, and that's how we do it at the time. They're talking on the record, and right. It was a thing of we did our best to memorize this record, which was a long record by those standards, right? So it wasn't like verse chorus. You know what I mean? It had obviously high moments, hotel motel, blah blah, but
right.
It was a song that we all kind of learned from hip hop first. Do you know what I mean? And it changed our lives. And I must say, I've been a DJ for 30 years, about 30 years. And it's one of those songs like It Takes Two and certain other joints like Run DMC that we can still play in parties and people go crazy. Still.
Which is crazy. Which is, again, go
ahead. I don't understand, you know, I mean, I do understand good music is timeless, right? But seeing that happen from when I saw it when I was in single digits and it's still popping right now, you know what I mean? And man, you should be proud. You guys should be
imagine.
proud.
Well, listen. Imagine because I tell people all the time, I'll never experience our music, H1 to Apache, Showdown, whatever, all the stuff that we've done. I'll never experience the way that the world experiences it. You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? But what happens to me, and again, this is my epiphany, which I'm really starting to, become accustomed to. I was actually, believe it or not, I was listening to some of our B-sides. Diamond, you need to listen to this. I was actually yesterday.
Wow.
Yesterday.
Yeah,
Yes. I was listening to some of our B-sides. Okay.
right.
And as a young person cutting these records, you don't have experience. You feel what I'm saying? I was wild and I wasn't crazy, but I was young. I was young and I was, impressionable, and I was out there and I was ripping them channels, famous, and had some money. So, I'm cutting these songs and it's like, I'm cutting in, whatever, whoop de woo. So some of the songs that we cut, I was kind of like, because the band that we played with, they were older.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so they would come to us with these different kind of concept records. And this time I'm like, I want to do that, man. I want to do I want to talk to the girls, whoop de woo. But the long and short of it is, I'm listening to this stuff. Just yesterday, I was listening to this stuff, right? And it was mind-blowing to hear some of the songs and the things that we were talking about. Then it was like, I remembered myself 18, 19 years old, like, this is some BS. And now here I am, getting ready to turn 60, and I'm listening to this stuff like, wow, this is some crazy stuff. So what I'm saying is, and to jump on what you're talking about, the fascinating thing about our music is that it never stops. And it's like, it doesn't matter. There's been nowhere on the planet Earth that we have been, or that the music has not been, where it doesn't have the same effect. Matter of fact, it's got a better effect now. Like Apache's a bigger record now than it was 30-something years ago, which is that hardly ever happens. Like, that most records, they'll, the popularity or the impact will decline. That hasn't been the case with Apache. Apache just keeps. So go ahead.
Right. So Shorty, when did you? Well, you don't have to tell us. What made you realize that that you wanted to be a DJ, and did you have any anybody in your family, what I mean, that was into music that made you want to make that jump?
Yeah, basically my uncles, I had 3 uncles that I used to see on the weekends. They were at my grandma's house and stuff like that. So those were the guys that really kind of helped me with my musical palette. So they play everything from jazz, obviously reggae. We're Jamaicans, so obviously reggae and everything from that side. There's African music, there's early hip hop too. But those guys really like made me fall in love with music. My mum liked music, but it wasn't a focus at all. But at the weekends, it was all, there was the schoolwork was done, or that it was time to be by grandma's and listen to a lot of music. So that's for me, that started off the journey, because obviously the medium as well was records and tapes. That's how we consumed music back then. It wasn't on the phones. It was actually buying physical, tangible records and tapes. So just buying records, like, when I got my not Saturday job, my first job, paper round, that's when I started to buy my own records. So the first record I bought was Run DMC Raising Hell album, and Rest in Peace Jam Master Jay, and also Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Yes.
Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. That was a 12-inch I bought.
That was a good record.
Records. Yeah. Very good records, and I still have them to this day. And
okay.
That was the medium that I bought. So every album that I wanted, I bought. Every album that I saved up 2 weeks for, because the money for paper round was like £5 a week. So certain albums I had to wait 2 weeks to get. So so me buying music, I started to grow a big collection, and I never thought of being a DJ until I saw Jazzy Jeff and Cash Money.
Okay.
Equally, they're equally the reason why I actually wanted to do that for the rest of my life.
Oh, so you're a dig. So you're a digger.
Yeah, I buy. I used to buy like a lot of records. I used to buy Luff, and you know, it just kind of naturally progressed into that because I had the music. So once I left school and I moved to London from Nottingham City, that's where I'm originally from.
Nottingham.
Yes, Robin Hood country
Okay,
and all that.
Nottingham.
I mean,
All right,
We've been there.
My first professional DJ gig.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Where was
Yes.
that?
In Nottingham.
What was the name of that club, D?
It was in
What was the name
the
of that
movie
club?
theater at the top of the building.
Right next
There was
to
a movie theater and a club that was like two floors.
What was it? A roadway inn or something?
Yeah.
The hotel was like walking distance or something.
Right, but
it was in the downtown area. It was in the downtown area, and it was up on the top floor. And
it had two floors.
Yeah,
right.
We can't. I don't remember the name of it.
I don't remember. What year was that?
It was 2010.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Was it 2010?
That's way after my time.
Yes,
had to be.
because that was the year that we fought to go over there.
Okay. Right.
We had already been over. We had already been over 7, 8, and then 9, and then we were getting ready to go back. And we was over there with Lothar. It was 2010.
Right. And
shout out to Lothar, by the way.
And the deal we made. Right, and we made a deal with the bar, and Lothar drank up all the beer. The guy said, "Where's he putting all this stuff?"
Gentlemen like to drink, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Blitz, I have a question. I got a question, Blitz, and so what at the time that you wanted to be a DJ, and like you said, you saw Jeff, and you saw
Cash Money.
my man Cash Money. What was DJing like, or the ability or the possibility of DJing like in England? Because you know, like I started DJing but it was New York, it was New Jersey, and you know, so New York, New Jersey, it was right there. This is what was going on. You know, it's very very accessible. You know, but we're talking about again, you know. This is still new to the world. I mean, the whole idea of scratching, the whole idea of, you know, all of that. So talk about that.
Well, I mean, for over here, you know, it's kind of instant because people don't really realize that as soon as something happens in New York at the time, it happens here like months later. You know what I mean? So it's kind of instant. So we had so many DJs over here, so many OGs. I call them OGs from the hard rock soul movement. Shout out to Max and Dave and the crew. Shout out to DJ Pogo, DJ Business, Cutmaster Swift, like he was the world DMC champion, I think the year before Cash Money, if I'm not mistaken. And you know, those are my older brothers. You know what I mean? Like salute to each one of them, because I stand on their shoulders. You know what I mean? I stand on their shoulders and be able to do what I can do. But I always give respect. So there's names I'm missing out, and they're gonna be mad, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah.
Right, right, no doubt.
Because there was a lot of battle DJs. There was club DJs too, but there was a lot of battle DJs, and there was a whole DMC thing that they were a part of. I wasn't really a battler. I love to cut and scratch, and the way that I figured of doing my thing was doing that in a club setting, not doing a DMC set, but just, you know, making it nice, making it fly, making it sound audibly different to whatever else is going on. If the last DJ played and I'm coming on, I want to sound audibly different to what they did.
They got to know to look up, like, oh damn,
definitely,
right.
And even that as well, like it kind of evolved from how I started to the way I do things now. I try and be on a thing where if I'm doing a blend or something like that, I don't want people to look up. I don't want them to notice that he's actually doing something. I want him to just follow the flow of the music and think, oh, this is a nice edit that I'm hearing. So that, I mean, you know, when you're a DJ week in, week out, playing a lot of the same music week in and week out, you have to do certain things to kind of alleviate the boredom. So for me, this is very dirty DJ speak, but it's a thing of where I just try and make it where they don't notice that oh, the DJ's doing. So I don't want them to look at me. I want them to just enjoy what's going on.
Blitz,
You know
let me ask you a question, Blitz. Have you ever had an equipment fail and then still had to play it cool?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's part of the training, right? That's part of the training. That's part of the training. Look, I started out DJing at house parties when I was in a sound system. Shout out to Class Act, shout out to Ricochet. And we'd on a Saturday evening, we'd find an empty house. We'd pay the neighbors so they wouldn't call the police. And then we'd move our stuff in, board up the windows and all that, and then charge people to come in and party with us. At times like that, there's no real security. There's, there was a lot of gang activity at the time, especially coming from Brixton, where I moved to. So
Brixton.
Yeah, there was 28 touchables.
All right, we were there too.
Yeah. And if they found out where your house party was, they're coming in the house party, and there's nothing you could do about it. So you had to make sure that there was enough girls in there, and the energy was nice and popping. And then one of the turntable blows. So you got to work with the MC and, playing tunes, and then you got to work out a way to stop the tune, switch vinyl, things happen. Then police will come in, equipment, and arrest people. And, that's the kind of training I'm used to. So if the computer shuts down, it's happened to me many times. I just talk to the crowd while I reboot the thing real quick and actually just not, in my head, I'm like, but on the mic, I'm telling jokes and making people laugh while it reboots, so then we can get going again. That's part of the training, bro.
We have been in many situations, Blitz, where we were in front of thousands of people headlining. We got an hour and we got 90 minutes to do, and we're in the throes of it, and I hear dead silence, and I look back, and this one right here is looking at me like,
he's doing all this.
You know what this is?
You know what this is? You know what it is?
And in my mind, I'm doing exactly what you just said. Oh my God.
Like,
because here's the crazy thing. You don't always know how or even if you're going to fix it in the middle of what's going on. That's the scary part of that. It's not necessarily, it's not necessarily what to do, because you're a party rocker. I'm a party rocker. I was rocking parties when I was 15 years old. So I could do that. I got no problem. That's not the problem. The problem is whether or not it's going to get fixed in time, and we're going to be able. That's the scary part. The scary part is not rocker dealing with the crowd. The scary part is, when is it going to get fixed?
When's it going to start again?
You gotta kind of play a seesaw. I'll look down and see everything is going crazy, and he'll be like, "What's up, D?" And I'll be like, "Nah, I don't feel like playing it for y'all today."
Yes, and
he already knows we got a problem. It'll be like, "Nah, I'm not playing it for you. They ain't screaming loud enough."
Like,
by the time
I'll be like, D, give me that joint, and then D'll go, "Nah, man, I don't feel like doing that. I ain't doing it." And then my mom will be like,
"Uh-oh." Yo, it's a testament to your showmanship as well, man, because you've done that on stages. I've done that on stage, and the thing that you fear is that first boo, because then it's a domino effect.
We had to save a couple. I forgot where we were. G, you could probably remember. I had the DJ from a DVD machine.
Oh, that was in Vienna. That was in Vienna.
Yeah. And the crowd was going to lose their mind. It was a jazz club. I had to go back out to the PA and EQ the board because they didn't have it set up for hip hop, and they had everything turned down low. Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah, that was in Vienna, but we rocked in.
Sounded like a transistor radio.
But we rocked it.
So Shortee, right before, is there like a certain ritual that you do, like a certain routine you do before every show, that you get ready behind the scenes, like in the dressing room or before you leave the hotel? Is there a certain thing that you do? And, like sometimes you be in a rush and you don't get to do it. Do that affect how you perform, or you just go out there and just let it go?
For me, I used to overthink a lot, and that's when real problems happen. So over the years, I've kind of evolved into this person that okay, let me just work out what I'm gonna play first. The first record I'm gonna play first, and then we go from there. So that's the only ritual. I just need to make sure I'm there early enough just to see what this dude's playing before, and then we see how I can attack it a little different. Okay, let me start with this, and I can just boom. Because the most important thing is to know the music that you're playing, understand it, know where choruses is and what can drop here and what this goes with that and that. So it's kind of a muscle memory thing. I don't know what it's going to be like after the lockdown is over, if it's ever over, but once we get back into the clubs, I mean, it's going to be the same. It's going to be business as usual because I love this music so much and I just like to present it in such a way. No special rituals though. I just like to make sure, for one, that the laptop is working and there's no problems before I get in the car to go to the club. So when I'm in the hotel, it's in there. I check what's happening. Okay, it's working. Okay, it's loading up a couple songs. Cool, I'm good. Leave it. And then we go and do business.
So do you assess the crowd though? Like if it's a younger crowd or older crowd, then you already know what you're gonna do from the. Okay, gotcha.
Definitely, it's a skill that all DJs need to have and all performers need to have. To be fair.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
You need to see what works because again, what we do, we affect people's emotions and moods. You know what I mean? We build moments and we affect moods and moments for people that's in the dance. So
right,
we have to read what they're doing. So I get to clubs early these days. I didn't before. I used to just get there, play, but I get to clubs early and see what's happening, see what the crowd's vibing with, what kind of crowd they are, whether they're older, whether they're younger, whether it's mixed. And I try and bring everybody into the world when I start to DJ.
So you start your journey is your own, but you're still reading the floor.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I've there's been a lot of mistakes during the way. There's times where I've cleared dance floors. It's happened. Everybody has a bad day, but it's a learning experience. And I've done that from when I first went to Australia in '97 or something like that, and I was going there every year up until kind of lockdown. So I saw the change of how things were over there. It used to have to be a certain tempo for things to work and for people to be on the dance floor. So when I hit them with Busta Rhymes, Give Me Some More before they even heard it, they were scared.
Yeah,
they were scared, and they left the floor, and I understood, and it was cool. But those kind of situations for me, whether I'm in a place like Australia or somewhere that doesn't even speak English, I'm trying to make the music translate. Like, understand, you're gonna hear different stuff as well. It's not just gonna be just tunes that you know, because that's easy just to play hits.
Yeah,
it's important to build a journey and peaks and troughs and hills and valleys and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember Lothar taking me to Switzerland, and we did, and I did an after party, and I'm looking at, for all hip hop heads, everybody in the room. Like, I started off the night, started writing into hip hop. I watched everybody, then I watched the people kind of weighing away, and I leaned into some house music, and man, I saw people start moving. I said, wait a minute, they're house heads. I switched it up and I killed them. I did. When I finished the night, I let it drain off. That's how good it was. I wanted them to know I was walking off. I let it drain off. But reading that floor is so important. I do have a question for you. Now, all the rest of the DJs, from what I noticed, all try their hand into production or music.
Yes.
Come on, man.
I know you're
Talk
going
about it.
Well, I started building music for a project that I was working on about 10 years ago, and certain things happened with it that certain artists were kind of violating, and it kind of soured my experience with it, because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I'm all for people getting paid to do their thing. That's cool. I paid certain artists, no names, no shame.
Understood.
And they took the dough, and or now I never got the verse.
Wow.
It's cool. So that stopped me from doing the project. But then as the years went on, and I was like, why would I let one dude stop the show?
Never.
Right.
So as of now, during lockdown, I'm readying these projects.
I'm gonna turn it around because I'm sitting here listening to our DJ T Dynasty, and he's talking about all these different things and so forth and so on. And I just want you to explain to everybody how you even became a DJ T Dynasty. How did that even happen?
Let me break this down for you, because I saw your face when I said 2010.
Oh,
yeah,
I wasn't the DJ, dog. I was in the front. The DJ couldn't make it across the water because he had obligations, if you understand my meaning.
I understand.
Okay. So we were standing in, trying to figure this out. And G goes, well, Diamond, you do production. You're going to do the DJ. I said, excuse me, what? I ain't done this since I was 12. Are you serious right now? He goes, you go figure it out. We were going to Spain. How many nights did we do?
We were there for like 4 days, but we played with Human League and it was another big show. It was a big show.
It was so much fun. I got a big mouth. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna act up and do all the rest of the stuff. All the other DJs that they had, and I'm gonna speak because G knows I know, either didn't speak or they just couldn't get their stuff together.
Right.
So I got up there that night and had a freaking ball. When I was walking up the stage, G said, "That's what you'll be doing." That's what you'll be doing.
And that's you from now on.
Right. But Shorty, the other crazy thing was that we said, oh yeah, we'll figure it out. Hey, we get up there, we'll give them a good 20 minutes, give them all the hits, kick ass, and we off the stage, right? And the promoter said, oh no. 1 hour. 1 hour.
At least this is next chapter Sugarhill Gang. I have been away from them for 20 something years. We had just really started touring and performing again. So everybody was still just trying to get to know and feel me out. I kind of was just settling back into the captain's chair, whatever. And so I'm barking out orders. So I said, yeah, well, we'll be the DJ. No problem. Everything's fine. You deal with it. I don't see everybody. All of a sudden, I get a bang on the door. All of them come rushing in. They're like, because we were doing shows in the States up to that point. And, over here in the States, it's a quick deal. It's like, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
We good.
Yeah, I mean, and we had that. We had 20 minutes. We had 30 minutes because we got at least 30 minutes worth of hits.
Killing them.
Shit.
Right.
Killing them. Killing them.
Rappers Delight, we could do 30 minutes with just Rappers Delight. Half of that is Rappers Delight if we want to. You know what I mean? So, my point being, they come busting through the room door and they're like, yo, you don't understand. We got to do an hour. I'm like, don't worry about it. I got it. They're like, what do you mean we got it? What do you mean we got it? I'm like, trust me, I got it. And we went out there and proceeded to rock. And that's when I came up with the acapella joint, I think. I think that was one of the first times.
We started the dance contest.
The dance contest.
No. Wait. The first one, G, was, do you know the words to Rappers Delight?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then from there, I added the whole, like, I purposely, this is just from my experience of being around film and television, I purposely found people that I knew would screw up, and then I could actually engage with them, with the crowd. And then I came up with this thing about, what do you think about what's happening? Give them, let the crowd vote. And then I came up with this thing called "Get Your Ass Off the Stage."
Nice.
The contest where we bring them all up on stage.
Thank you very much. I appreciate what you're doing. Nice try, but get your ass off the stage. So that. But I wanted to tell that story.
What was the name of that show? Why they say? This one is the best? This one is the best?
Oh, like almost like Apollo.
It was a combination of a few things, y'all. This is funny. We're talking about this now, but it was a combination of the Apollo, the thing about the Apollo, Kiki Shepard doing the thing over people's heads. That was part of it, and then the other thing was the Gong Show. That's where I got both. I got an idea from both of those shows. So, the Gong Show was like my man Chuck, whatever his name is, Chuck Woolery or whatever that guy. He used to be like Chuck Barris. He would come up to the people and he'd be messing around. That's why I got the engage thing. The joke stuff I got from that show. And then to get your ass off the stage, I got from that idea. And then the walking, the picking each person and tell them where your name and where you're from. I got that from Kiki Shepard and the Apollo. So that's why. And all of that happened in a couple of hours before we went on the stage.
So like you were saying, Blitz, it's a matter of controlling the crowd. Like
definitely
as being in front of the stage, if I got a microphone in my hand, I was good, but I didn't know what I could do as far as back there. So when we have been working for a amount of time, and Lothar tells me one day when we get to Nottingham, he goes, "Oh yeah, and I got you a show tonight." I said, "Oh, okay." And got there, and everything that could go wrong went wrong. And I had to DJ Ray G from another man's crate.
Ooh.
Yeah.
From with 2 turntables in a rainstorm and got electrocuted.
Oh, wow.
Who kept going?
Yeah, because it was outside.
It was outside.
I repped the crowd. Yep. I had so much fun with the crowd. The owner bought cases of champagne, steaks for everybody, and closed the club at the end of the night and just party with us.
Yeah.
But all that to say, brother, I respect you so much for really having this knowledge. Like I don't claim it. And I tell all real DJs, my hat and salute you, brother. I don't know
for real.
And I enjoy what I do, but I know my lane.
Don't get it twisted though, because you are a real DJ, T Dynasty. It is what it is. I mean, I'm a DJ that can cut and scratch a little bit. No, I'm not Qbert level, because that guy's an alien and all that.
Guy's alien.
I'm not trying to be that. You know what I mean? I know what I do. I think I'm the best of what I do myself. I cutting and scratching for me in a club setting is flavoring, is seasoning. Do you know what I mean? It's about the selection. It's about the engagement to the crowd. You do that. You do that. So you are a real DJ, quote unquote, real DJ, bro. So
I agree with you on that. He's earned his stripes by far.
Right. By fire.
by demand.
By demand.
Right. So Shortee, I have a question. I have a 2-part question for you, actually.
Okay.
First one is how did you get the name Shortee Blitz? And second part is that I see that you've been on stage with a lot of big artists, as far as Jay-Z and and others on stage with them and stuff like that, and festivals and stuff. So how was it to actually win the awards that you've been able to win and be on stage with such icon artists and stuff like that?
I mean, for me, I just love being part of anything that's going on with the culture. So if there's an MC that I really respect and rate, being around them is definitely a plus for me. Do you know what I mean? And as far as the Jay-Z thing happened, it was by chance. We were doing an after party for Twice as Night. Shout out to Steve Gordon and the crew. It was myself, DJ Semtex, DJ Kofi. DJ Kofi, and we were doing the after party. We were just playing before he came on and did the thing of the show. While I was DJing at the time, I felt a tap on my shoulder, and there was this big, tall dude behind me talking. And it was a thing of, he said, I don't know who he was, but I think he was the bodyguard. And he was like, "Oh, Jay wants to speak to you." I was like, "Jay who?" I wasn't expecting Jay-Z to want to speak to me, but okay, cool. So I left the tune playing, and there goes Jay-Z, and he looked short compared to this dude. And Jay-Z's quite tall. But he's like, "What songs of mine do you have?" I was like, because one thing that I used to hate when going to concerts, because I've been to a lot of them, was the DJ that's opening up starts playing songs from the act that's about to be on the stage. It doesn't make any sense.
That is the worst. Listen.
Man,
go ahead.
I don't get it, and it happens. It happens more than often. Do you know what I mean? Which I don't get.
Oh my God.
I mean, I understand if you're in a zone and you're doing your thing and it just happens, cool. But I never wanted that to happen, so I left all my Jay-Z records at home, apart from maybe about 3 or 4. And I was like, okay, I got Big Pimpin', I got this, I Just Wanna Love You, I got this and that. And he's like, okay, you're gonna spin for me. I was like, okay, all right, cool. And we commenced to do that, and he did like a 20-minute PA and turned the building over upside down, and I DJ'd for him. I'm trying to find some video footage, because back then it wasn't about all of that. It was just being in the moment. And
right.
You know, there is a videotape. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, he was in the audience, so we had to sneak the video camera in, and because I just wanted him to get part of the show, and I didn't know that I was going to be part of the actual show. But it was great.
Right.
It was
That's
great.
Amazing. That's a great story.
Yeah, man. And
yeah, man. That's.
I know it was a 2-part question. So
yeah. How'd you come up with the name, Shortee Blitz?
The name.
Shortee
Blitz.
Yeah,
that's easy. Like, you know, with Jamaicans and families, it's all nicknames and stuff like that. I'm fairly short. My family's fairly short, so they you know, my cousin Shelly, man, he's like, yo, what, I'm Shortee, and it just kind of when I started to DJ, I just didn't want to be called something master this or something master that, because I thought, you know, I don't want to sound like anybody else. So I wanted to make it like a first name and a surname. So the Blitz part was just basically, when I DJ, it's going to be fireworks and you know. But it worked. it worked. It ended up working for me. So
it's got
so that's what the word Blitz means. That's what the word
Blitz
Henry.
means.
So Blitzkrieg. So
okay.
like the Blitz.
Damn,
like,
man.
Ring of
Blitz.
Fire. Yeah,
Wow.
Blow.
Hey, man, I'm American. What can I say?
Well, you've been all over the world, man.
Yeah, but I haven't heard people use Blitz before.
Oh, come on, Henry.
Peace, brothers.
I'm
Peace.
We're interviewing Shortee Blitz.
Yeah, okay, you're right. So, okay, with that being said, Shortee,
yes,
do you have any questions for us? Do you have any questions for us? This is where you get an opportunity to let that happen.
So I want to ask you guys, right? So you've been on stages all over the world for the last 40 years. Like, you've seen it from the humble beginnings, right? And seeing it as it is
People's
now.
basements.
Definitely.
Yes.
All of that,
literally.
block parties and all of that, until
to arenas
stadiums and all that. Yes.
Yeah.
And you will be forever attached to the history of hip hop and what it means to the world.
Thank you.
But how different did it feel from opening up? And did you ever think it was going to go this far?
Okay. So the beginning of it, I had no clue what was happening. I'll be honest. And that's why I say that I'm glad that I actually made it to be this old, because now the older me has an opportunity, which is so amazing. It's like seeing my life from a different, it's like watching a movie. Like if you watch a movie, like say you watched Close Encounters, you know what I mean? Of the Third Kind. I don't know if everybody's ever seen that, but you watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind when it came out, maybe you're 10 or you're 12. You know what I mean? You got no concept of life. Now you live life, you have children, you have family, you read more. Now you watch it again with all of that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens, man. It's like I'm watching and I'm looking now. My mind is playing these memories back. The young me, you know, in the middle of that, you know, and the stages that we played and the situations and scenarios. And it's like being in a movie that it starts out in the past. It's like the Time Machine. H.G. Wells there's a movie called The Time Machine. H.G. Wells wrote this book. And Guy Pearce is one of my favorite actors, because my name is Guy and his name is Guy also. He played in this movie back in the day. The movie's been done over and over again. But what the whole thing about the movie is that it goes through these different periods. And this guy he's living and experiencing these different situations. And there's one scene in the movie where they're they're in a house, and they show like how the house is going through these different time sequences, like the clothes are changing and everything's happening, but it's all happening. So that's kind of how I feel about my life at this point. So what I look at now is back then of how crazy, like monumentally groundbreaking what we were doing is. And like, it's almost like, damn, I didn't even, I didn't get it, and then to come now and be doing it now, the effect, man, it gives me, I said, I told you, I'm thankful and I'm grateful and I'm humbled about how important what we do is to the world. Something that I was doing in people's basements, in 1976, 77, 78, and at the high school, I convinced my high school to make me the resident DJ for all the dances, something that I was doing when I was, 10th grade, 11th grade is now, on this global hundreds of millions of dollars and millions of people and then I talk to a cat like you, and one of the things you say is we had something significant to do about it. I can't really put it into words a lot of times. I don't even think I'm doing it justice telling you about it now.
It's a beautiful thing, man. I can't lie, because seeing it from then and now as an outsider, it's amazing to me. So you guys living it it must be a different set of things, and people just singing your song back to you while you being on stage. I know that must be a different thing. I will never know what it is because I'm not an MC.
What the thing that gets me short is the fact that we go to countries and they don't even know not one word of English, but they know every word to the song.
There you go. And that's the beautiful thing as well about being a DJ, because there's been places where I've gone.
Speaking of DJs, who are your top 5 DJs of all time?
Oh, man. Oh man, that's the worst question you could ever give me, because I've got different kind of categories as well. Because
maybe I should say top 4, because you were in there. You were in top 5.
You're too kind. But I mean, obviously, Jeff and Cash Money, I think they're on an equal. I mean, they take up one spot. Obviously, Flash, because the stuff that he actually innovated.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? He innovated a lot of things that we use and take for granted, and had no idea that he invented such things that we use without even thinking about it. There's so many, man. There's so many.
How do you feel about Cassidy?
What he's doing now is beautiful, wonderful. What he's doing, man, like wonderful. And I think a lot of DJs are thinking, damn, why didn't I think of that? So shout out to Cassidy, because I know how I was thinking.
Right.
That's like the idea he had was ingenious, and doing it on Zoom and like how he does it, wonderful.
Yeah. Definitely.
It lifts the spirits. It lifts the spirits of everybody that remembers those kind of music. And
man, for real.
Like that.
And
he's still playing like that to my kids.
And he's still using just the breaks, but with the artists.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great idea. We had him on the show too.
What about your top 5 MCs?
That's
see, that ain't right hand. That ain't right hand.
It's not right hand. You're trying to do that to me, exactly.
He been hey, Blitz. He been messing with you through the whole show. You see that, right?
I know.
I want you to know who's doing what.
No.
So when I see you again,
he's not low.
Right. I just want to be known, because when we see each other again, who's on down with you.
I know the troublemaker is. You know what I mean? I mean, so for me, my favorite MC of all time, right? My favorite MC of all time is Big Daddy Kane.
Okay. Big shout out to Kane.
Yeah, man, that's my guy. And there was before Kane and after Kane, everything that happens before. and after, but his OG was Kaz. So you know, again, that has to be in.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This top 5 thing is going to
you
make
see
my
what he
brain
did.
melt, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you see what he did.
He thinks he's slick. It's all good though.
What world happened?
Obviously, Rakim too, because again, everything changed when he touched the game. Like people ran differently when he touched the game. Then obviously there's Mr. Melvin Glover. You know what I mean? Come on now.
No question.
Then there's KRS-One. Then you see this. I've already gone past 5. It's
right,
insane.
and you're still going, I know. I get it. He ain't right, man. He ain't right.
So over the years, I've been on radio for 25 years. Last year on KISS, and every time I have somebody in who's successful, whether they're legendary or they're on their way and doing their thing, the number one question I ask them is the importance of travel, because our music is from people from the hood, from the ends, as we call it, and stuff like that. And I wanted to find out how important is it for you guys, and how did your view of everything change once you started traveling the world? With certain petty beefs in the hood, is it worth it? Are you more likely to let things go?
That is an amazing question, and this is the basis of what I tell people about. You know, like you said, being successful as a musician and an entertainer, you know, people look at you. They see, even like day to day, people look at you. People look to see what kind of stuff I have on when I go to the gym. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, and what tends to happen when you travel the world is that you develop a different way to be. You go to Israel, and you go to Jerusalem, you know what I mean? And you put your hands on the stone where Jesus laid, you know, and you feel that energy of all these different people. You know, you go to Germany in the 80s, you know what I'm saying, when the wall was still kind of there. And then you go to Germany again in the 90s and the 2000s, and now the wall is down, and you're in East Germany, and you know you see the joy. You go to South. So what I say, you go to Paris and you see how people are dressing. You know, so my way of being, you know, my whole, you know, mantra, my way I talk to people, the way I see the world, it's been affected. One of the biggest gifts that I've been given to be a successful musician is the ability to be able to see the world. The person that I was before I left, New Jersey, and the person that I am now, that I have been pretty much everywhere in the world, is I'm two different people completely, in the way that I act, the way I talk, the way I walk, how I eat, what I eat, you know, just in general, man. It's amazing. You can read in a book. You can look at a book and read about a country, or you can look in a book and somebody can tell you something. But until you've actually walked the streets of Edinburgh, where at one point there was a plague and the city was built on the top of bayou, and I'm gonna tell you, I've experienced this myself. I was in Edinburgh, right? 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was walking through the streets by myself, and I kid you not, I could feel the spirits, man, of the people who was buried, man. I would go I just walk down the street and see like a little alley, and walk down the alley, man, just to see, because I know about how this plague happened, and they had to build the city on top of it. I'm telling you, man, and that just spiritually just has made me, you know, a different kind of person. My way is totally different. So yeah, that's it for me.
Because I think it's really important that we do that, so we can think differently, because obviously, you know, you're in the hood and the ends, and you're on top of each other, and you know, the smallest thing can set it off, and it could be problems. There's kids over here that are fighting over postcodes and stuff like that, which is insane to me. But because I've traveled, it's like, it's not something that would ever bother me. I like to travel everywhere without looking over my shoulder. And that's the thing that I pride myself on, because when I walk towards somebody, or when I greet somebody, it's always with respect.
Right.
until disrespect is shown. I'm a man. I'm a man first. You know what I mean?
All day. Yeah.
You know, it's a thing of I walk with love. You know what I mean? I don't need to carry weapons. If something happens to me, and things have happened to me in the past, yeah, cool. But it's about the energy that you give out. Hopefully, it can be reciprocated.
Exactly. Without a doubt.
That's it, man.
That's why I always ask everybody who's made a lot of money, if they've got hits, they've traveled the world. I just want to
no, it's different,
make
man.
them, because it's different from me telling people that yo, go see the world. But if their favorite artist is talking about yo, go see the world.
Yeah, I just had a conversation. I just had a conversation with a guy just yesterday, and I was talking about just this, what I'm telling you guys about. Henry was there with me. Dig was there with me. Henry and I went we did the show in Tel Aviv, and then from Tel Aviv, Henry and I went to Jerusalem, and you know, we walked in that. Henry, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we walked in that church, and we kneeled down. I'm not. You know, I'm a very
change his ass
regal individual. I'm extremely regal, and the whole 9 yards, and I'm very into I'm on my knees, man. I'm watching people from all walks of life kneeling and putting their jacket on this stone and this and that, and so I mean that was Henry, you can speak to that, man.
Oh yeah, that was a stone. That's why Christ's body laid when they took him off the cross.
Right.
That's where his body actually laid on that stone, and they built the church around the stone rather than trying to move the stone to a different location. It was amazing, man. Yeah, they built this church around the stone. Yeah, it was crazy. It was really, and another thing too, we actually got in the Dead Sea. G had an ankle problem, and every show G used to have to elevate his ankle to keep the swelling down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He got in the Dead Sea, man. It went away.
To this day. I mean, like, I would be walking through the airport. Me and him would be walking through the airport, and he would just see me like grimace and I just kind of like, because you know how sometimes when you walk through the airport and you're moving a little fast, and the ankle would get away from me, and it would like be a sharp pain, and then like you said, after every show, my ankle would be swollen like a balloon, man. I'd be in the room, elevated the whole 9 yards, but of course, I'm gonna go through it. We get there, I'll get in the water. I swear to you, on this day, man, to this day, I'm doing it crazy. I'm playing.
It's true, man.
That's dope, man. That's very dope.
It's true. It's true.
That's crazy.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, people were actually coming there with buckets because
bottles,
they put the mud on them. They put the mud on them, then they get in it. Yeah, the people were coming there just to take the mud.
Jeez.
But listen, we could go on and on. This has been crazy, man. First of all, I want to say I really appreciate you coming on and doing this for us, man, and doing this with us, Shortee Blitz. This has been very cool because my experience with you on the show was crazy. You were definitely, an exciting person to be around. Like, we spent the whole day together, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So it ain't like we don't really know each other. You know what I mean? And so to be able to sit down and really kind of, vibe with you and talk to you is amazing. So let me say that first. And then the next thing is everybody that comes on our show and everybody that shares their stories and their experiences puts you in a very unique situation because you are now officially part of the Sugarhill Gang family. So what happens?
Whoa.
Yeah. You family now. You're family now. So when we see you again, you are now Cuzzo. That means we're talking to a family member. You know what I mean? So we want to just say thank you, Cuzzo, for being a part of this. And this has been an exciting thing. And again, we could do this for hours. I just want to say thank you, man. It's been a real blessing, and appreciate you being a part of what's happening, man. All right.
Definitely.
And thanks for listening to us, man. We love you for loving us, man.
No
being
doubt.
Down with us all these years, being with us as we continue to reinvent ourselves. This is the Sugarhill Gang podcast.
One second. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you. I'm not being rude.
Go ahead.
I just want to say before you do sign off, I just want to say how much this has been a pleasure of mine. I can't.
Oh wow.
I'm talking to the Sugarhill Gang. Like, come on, B. It's like, look. Just look. I just want to say, on behalf, I don't talk on behalf of people, right? But I'm talking on behalf from everybody from the hip hop culture right now. I don't care where you're from. Thank you, Sugarhill Gang. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you,
Shorty. Thank you. It means leaps and bounds and tons and tons and tons. It's very nice, man, that here we are at this point in our life, man. Like I said, where the thing is just constantly growing, the legion of appreciation. Early on, I used to think that people didn't get us, and for a long time, I used to think, and my boys will tell you that people didn't care about us. But this is amazing to hear somebody like you say it. So yeah, check the move, man. So now that we got that part done, Shorty, are you finished now? Can I close out the show?
No. There was one more thing. No, I'm joking. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Karen.
I'm sorry. I said, y'all, thanks so much for coming on. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Thanks, Sugar Hill fans and world fans and people in general for listening. We love you for loving us. We love you for listening and watching us. This is the Sugar Hill Gang podcast. I'm your host, Master G, and I'm here with my boys. Say goodnight, T Dynasty.
Good night, T Dynasty.
Say goodnight, Dig Diggity. Say goodnight, Hen Dog.
No doubt. Black history, baby.
All right. Say goodnight, Shortee Blitz.
Good night, each and everybody.
Thanks, y'all. Peace. And we are.